Painted Life 21. The Glory Vision. One morning in 1609, when Mary was in London, she had just made her meditation with, as she thought, very little fervour. Whilst dressing, she determined to make amends for this by giving a large sum of money to a person of good birth who desired to enter religion but had not necessary dowry. Mary thereby fell into an ecstasy which deprived her of her senses and her power of movement. While in this state, she perceived clearly that it was not God's will for her to enter an austere order, but had not necessary dowry. Mary thereby fell into an ecstasy which deprived her of her senses and her power of movement. While in this state, she perceived clearly that it was not God's will for her to enter an austere order, but that she was called to much more excellent state, which would do far more to promote the glory of God. After a space of 2 hours, which seemed to her like a quarter of an hour, a long time elapsed before she could hear anything except the word, glory. Our painting shows Mary at the mirror and in the small inset, on the right, on her knees again before the crucifix. The glory vision marks the beginning of Mary's mission to found the Institute. The past no longer seemed to matter. She now knew that the one aim of her life was to be the praise and glory of God in everything. She felt a definite plan beginning to take shape in her life. What does this really mean? To praise, to glorify. First, let us look on a human level. When I sincerely praise someone, recognize their personal worth, and value their actions, then my inner self opens up, as it were, to make room for this person. And I feel liberated, because I am no longer closed in on myself. The other person, in turn, feels a sense of reassurance. His or her action are, so to speak, given wings. The person feels joyful, happy, just as I am made happy by having recognized the value of his or her particular nature. The praise and the recognition of others, even on the purely human level, raised us above the humdrumness of daily life. The more we find to praise, the more we really do praise and esteem others. The more we ourselves will feel liberated from whatever tends to weigh us down spiritually. How can much greater the effect of praising God? Our happiness comes from recognizing Him as God, adoring and thanking Him. Reflection. Do we find our own words and actions to express the glory of God? Does it really penetrate our life?